Hi and welcome to the channel. Today I'm gonna be reading to you. My name is Maria Isabel, and this is a story about a girl who has problems at school. So this is the story. Maria Isabel's family has just moved from one part of the city to another. She has had to switch schools 2 months after the start of the school year. To make matters worse, there are 2 other girls named Maria in her new class. So the teacher has decided to call her Mari Lopez instead of Maria Isabel Salazar Lopez. This upsets her, for she's proud of her name, which is made up of the name of relatives she loves in Puerto Rico. Because she doesn't realize she's been called on when the teacher says Mari Lopez, Maria Isabel has missed the chance to perform in the winter pageant. The winter pageant. Everything at school now revolves around plans for the winter pageant. The class was making wreaths and lanterns. The teacher explained to the class that Christmas is celebrated differently in different countries, and that many people don't celebrate Christmas at all. They talked about Santa Claus and how he's called Saint Nicholas in some countries and Father Christmas in others. The class also talked about the Jewish feast of Chanukah that celebrates the rededication of the Temple of Jerusalem, and about the special meaning of the 9 candles of the Chanukah menorah. The teacher had asked everyone to bring in pictures or other things having to do with the holidays. A lot of kids brought in photographs of their families by their Christmas trees. Myra brought in pictures of New Year's Day in Santo Domingo. Michelle brought in a picture of herself sitting on Santa's lap when she was little. Gabriel brought in photos of the Three Kings Day parade in Miami, Florida. He had been there last year when he went to visit his Cuban grandmother. Marcos brought in a piñata shaped like a green parrot that his uncle had brought back from Mexico. Emmanuel showed everyone a photo album of his family's trip to Israel, and Esther brought in cards her grandfather had sent her from Jerusalem. One day, Sonny Paz came to school. She sang Christmas songs from different countries and taught the class to sing a Chanukah song, The Candles of Chanukah. Maria Isabel went home humming softly, Chanukah, Chanukah, let us celebrate. The bus trip seemed a lot shorter as the song ran through her head. It almost felt as if she had traveled to all those different countries and had celebrated all those different holidays. Maria Isabel was still singing while she made dinner and set the table. With our menorah, fine potato latkes, our clay trumpets, let us celebrate. Her voice filled the empty kitchen. Maria Isabel was so pleased she promised herself that she will make a snowman the next time it snowed, and she will get it finished before the garbage man pick up the trash and dirty up the snow. But after Sonny Paz's visit to the school, the day seemed to drag by more and more slowly. Maria Isabel didn't have anything to do during rehearsals, since she didn't have a part in Amal. The teacher decided that after the play, the actors would sing some holiday songs, including Maria Isabel's favorite about the Chanukah candles. Since she didn't have a part, Maria Isabel wouldn't be asked to sing either. It didn't seem to matter much to Tony and Jonathan, the other 2 kids who weren't in the play. They spent rehearsal time reading comics or whispering to each other. Neither boy spoke to Maria Isabel, and she was too shy to say anything to them. The only fun she had was reading her library book. Somehow her problems seemed too small to compare to Wilbur the pig's. He was in danger of becoming the holiday dinner. Maria Isabel felt the only difference was that the characters in books always seemed to find answers to their problems, while she couldn't figure out what to do about her own. As she cut out bells and stars for decorations, Maria Isabel's daydreamed about being a famous singer. Someday, she will sing in front of a large audience, and her teacher will feel guilty that she had not let Maria Isabel sing in the winter pageant. We can see Maria Isabel doing some decorations sitting on her desk as the other kids rehearsed. But later, Maria Isabel thought, my teacher isn't so bad. It's all a big misunderstanding. If only there was some way I could let her know. Even if I'm not the great singer someday, it doesn't matter. All I really want is to be myself and not make the teacher angry all the time. I just want to be in the play and to be called Maria Isabel Salazar Lopez. Trapped in a spider's web. I've asked my boss if I can leave work early the day of the school pageant. Maria Isabel's mother said one evening as she served the soup, Papa is also going to leave work early. That way we'll be able to bring the rice and beans. And best of all, we can hear Maria Isabel sing, her father added. Maria Isabel looked down at her soup. She had not told her parents anything. She knew they were going to be very disappointed when they saw the other kids in her class taking part in the play. She could hear her mother asking, why didn't you sing? Doesn't the teacher know what a lovely voice you have? Maria Isabel ate her soup in silence. What could she say? Don't you have anything to say, Chabelita? Asked her father. Aren't you glad we're coming? Sure, Papa, sure, I am, said Maria Isabel, and she got up to take her empty bowl to the sink. And we can say Isabel taking her bowl to the sink so it can get washed. After helping her mother with the dishes, Maria Isabel went straight to her room. She put on her pajamas and got into bed. But she couldn't sleep, so she turned the light on and continued reading Charlotte's Web. Maria Isabel felt that she was caught in a sticky, troublesome spider web of her own. And the more she tried to break loose, the more trapped she became. When the librarian had told her that she would like the book, Maria Isabel had felt that they were sharing a secret. Now, as she turned the pages, she thought that maybe the secret was that everyone has problems. She felt close to poor little Wilbur, being fattened up for Christmas dinner without even knowing it. He was a little like her parents, who were so eager to go to Pageant, not knowing what was waiting for them. It's just as unfair that this can be a happy time for all of us, Maria Isabel said out loud. She sighed. Then she turned off the light, snuggled under her blanket, and fell asleep trying to figure out a way to save Wilbur from becoming Christmas dinner. My greatest wish. 2 days were left until the pageant. The morning was cloudy and gray. On the way to school, Maria Isabel wondered if it was going to snow. Maybe she will be able to make that snowman. But shortly after she got to school, it started to drizzle. Since they couldn't go outside, the students spent their time rehearsing. No one made a mistake. Melchior didn't forget what he had to say to Amal's mother. Amal dropped his crutch only once. Best of all, though, the shepherds remembered when they were supposed to enter without bumping into the three kings. Even Tony and Jonathan seemed interested in the play. They volunteered to help carry the manger and the shepherd's basket on and off stage. Satisfied with the final rehearsal, the teacher decided there was time for one last class exercise before vacation. It's been a couple of days since we've done some writing, she said once the students returned to class. The new year is a time for wishes. Sometimes wishes come true, sometimes they don't. But it's important to have wishes and most of all, to know what you really want. I would like you all to take out some paper and write an essay titled My Greatest Wish. Maria Isabel sighed and put away Charlotte's Web. Charlotte had just died, and Maria Isabel wondered what was going to happen to the sack of eggs that Wilbur had saved, and where Charlotte's babies will be born. But Maria Isabel will have to wait to find out. She bit down on her pencil and wrote, My Greatest Wish. This shouldn't be so hard, Maria Isabel thought. If I finish writing early, I can probably finish my book. She started to write, My greatest wish is to make a snowman. Maria Isabel read over what she had just written and realized that it wasn't what she really wanted. She put the paper aside, took out a new sheet, and wrote down the title again. My greatest wish is to have a part in a mall. Maria Isabel stopped writing again. She thought, will Charlotte have said that her greatest wish was to save Wilbur? Or will she have wished for something impossible, like living until the next spring and getting to know her children? The teacher just said that wishes don't always come true. If I'm going to wish for something, it should be something really worth wishing for. Maria Isabel took out a third sheet of paper and wrote down the title again. This time, she didn't stop writing until she got to the bottom of the page. Now, my question to you is, what's your greatest wish? Leave in the comments below, what is your greatest wish in life? My greatest wish. When I started to write, I thought my greatest wish was to make a snowman. Then I thought my greatest wish was to have a part in the winter pageant. But I think my greatest wish is to be called Maria Isabel Salazar Lopez. When that was my name, I felt proud of being named Maria, like my papa's mother, and Isabel, like my grandmother Chabela. She is saving money so that I can study and not have to spend my whole life in a kitchen like her. I was Salazar, like my papa and my grandpa Antonio, and Lopez, like my grandfather Manuel. I never knew him, but he could really tell stories. I know because my mother told me. If I was called Maria Isabel Salazar Lopez, I could listen better in class because it's easier to hear than Mari Lopez. Then I could have said that I wanted a part in the play. And when the rest of the kids sing, my mother and father wouldn't have to ask me why I didn't sing, even though I like the song about the Chanukah candles so much. The rest of the class had already handed in their essays and were cleaning out their desks to go home when Maria Isabel got up. She quietly went to the front of the room and put her essay on the teacher's desk. Maria Isabel didn't look up at the teacher, so she didn't see the woman smiling at her. She hurried back to her desk to get her things and leave. One little candle, two little candles. Holiday spirit was everywhere at school the next day. The paper wreaths and lanterns the class had made were hung up all over the room. The teacher had put the greatest wish essays up on the bulletin board, next to the cutouts of Santa Claus, the Three Kings, and a menorah. All the students were restless. Marta Perez smiled when Maria Isabel sat down next to her. Look at the pretty Christmas cards I got from my cousin in Santo Domingo, she said excitedly. Maria Isabel looked at the tropical Christmas scene, all trimmed in flowers. But she couldn't answer Marta because the teacher had started to speak. We are going to do one last rehearsal because there's a small change in the program. The rest of the kids listened attentively, but Maria Isabel just kept looking down at her desk. After all, she had nothing to do with the pageant. Then she heard the teacher say, Maria Isabel Salazar Lopez. Maria Isabel looked up in amazement. Wouldn't you like to lead the song about the Chanukah candles? The teacher said with a wide grin. Why don't you start by yourself, and then everyone else can join in. Go ahead and start when you're ready. Maria Isabel walked nervously up to the front of the room and stood next to the teacher, who was strumming her guitar. Then she took a deep breath and began to sing her favorite holiday song. While her mother was getting the rice and beans ready that night, Mr. Salazar called Maria Isabel over to him. Since you can't wear makeup yet, Chabelita, I brought you something else that I think you like. In the palm of his hand were two barrettes for her hair. They were shaped like butterflies and gleamed with tiny stones. And there we have the picture of Maria Salazar with the teacher singing. And then she's on stage singing. Oh, Papi, they're so pretty. Thank you, Maria Isabel exclaimed. She hugged her father and ran to her room to put them on. At school the next day, Maria Isabel stood in the center of the stage. She was wearing her special yellow dress, a pair of new shoes, and the shining butterflies. She spoke clearly to the audience. My name is Maria Isabel Salazar Lopez. I'm going to sing a song about the Jewish feast of Chanukah. It celebrates the rededication of the temple in Jerusalem. The music started and Maria Isabel began to sing the candles of Chanukah. I will sing this song to you, but now I'm not a good singer, so I'm gonna skip the part. You can sing it on your own. And the butterflies in Maria Isabel's hair sparkle under the stage lights so much that it seemed that they might just take off and fly. And that's the end of our story. I hope you had enjoyed it. Ask yourself these questions. If you have problems today, what can you do to solve them? Sometimes it's really hard to figure out the problem. Sometimes the answer is right in front of us. But all it takes is for you to do something about the problem. So, see you next time.